are angry. It's okay.
I'm not angry. Except when you keep repeating, you're angry. And that shit's fucking annoying. Like a fucking gnat at a barbecue. Just bugging the fuck out of me.
Good. I want you to say, I'm angry. It's okay. I'll process my anger. I love myself. Woozah.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And boom, episode 41. I think this is going to be called TV shows because I think that's all that's on my mind right now is talking about TV shows. But anyway, how is everyone? How you doing? Right now it's Sunday night. It's about, let me see, it's about to be 9 o'clock. So this is like normally my bedtime, but I haven't been sleeping lately. I've been staying up. So I'm like, you know what? I didn't shoot the podcast this morning. I was going to shoot it tomorrow, Monday, during like my lunch. And I was just like, nah, let me do it right now because I know I'm not gonna sleep. So, and also I was watching right now that's going on is the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight, and I was really just interested to see who was gonna win that. And then it turned out to be all right, you know. So yeah, if you guys, I don't want to do spoiler alert, but anyway, nobody watches fighting but me. I feel like so. Yeah, Jake Paul loses. So, and then there's going to be a rematch. But I guess, you know, I missed some parts because I was watching it illegally. You know what I'm saying? I was watching it through TikTok. Somebody in TikTok was filming it and I was watching it through there. I mean, like, I was going to say a billion people, but like thousands of people do that. You just click the live button and bam, you just see, you know, everybody just showing the fight. So I was watching it for free. So, but yeah, it kind of got boring. I was just thinking, it's all right. I'm really waiting for this UFC fight to drop, the John Jones return, and I'm gonna go all about that when that's, you know, approaching. But yeah, I think this is gonna be movie review. Got no plans. Uh, let me see. What can we start with? There is some things I want to talk about, but if we're gonna start with something, let's start with let's do Avatar, the Avatar 2. So I finally saw that. What was it? Yesterday? No, Saturday. I finally saw it Saturday. I've been wanting to watch it, right? Well, and then my kids especially. My kids been wanting to watch it for the longest. But you know, we have our days. Our days aren't syncing up. There's days I want to go, and then there's days they want to go, and then there's days I don't want to go. So, you know, we weren't syncing up, so we finally synced up. And it was me and my daughters. My son didn't really want to watch it. So, you know, he was out with his mom playing video games, and I was with my daughters watching Avatar 2. So, this whole time I was like, I'm probably going to be on my phone. I don't think I was going to be interested because I barely remember. I had to watch really part one. I mean, I saw part one a long time ago. I felt like that thing came out like 20 years ago. I was like, it's actually 14, but I was like, you know, I got to rewatch it. I don't remember this stuff. Like, I bits and parts, yeah. And I was like, so I rewatched it on Disney the day before. I was all right, I got it. And I really thought, I really, really thought I wasn't gonna like it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be on my phone for 3 hours, and you know, I don't mind, you know, just running in and out of the theater, getting them some snacks or whatever. But yeah, I found myself getting really caught up into it, and I really, really liked it. I was like, holy shit, I'm into this movie. And like, you know, when you're into something, time flies. There was never a point where I'm like, God, is it over yet? You know, I was like, I was into the story, and I was like, I really like this. I don't know why, but I do. So now I'm like, oh God, now I'm ready for part three. But I want it to come out, you know, not 20 years later. I heard it's supposed to come out 2024, but I don't know. Things get pushed back, and you never know. But yeah, now I'm all in. And it was good. I liked every bit. It was one of the things where I was saying that I was telling people, I was like, you don't really have to watch part one for part two. I don't think, you know, because they kind of, you know, give you like, you know, a little quick rundown on what's happening. But yeah, I don't really think you need to. If you just wanted to jump into part two, I think that would have been fine, especially with part three and part four. And God, I don't even know how much more they're coming out with, but yeah, I don't think you need it. But it's good to watch, like I did. It was like a nice refresher, and I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, I liked it. My daughters like it, so yeah, I'm pretty much. I'm not like gonna say like I'm super excited for part three. That's not all that, but I do want to see it. Like, I'm interested, especially the way the part two ended. You're like, now I want to see what part three does. So, but that was good. And I also before that, a week before, and I don't think I went over this. No, there's no way I went over this. And if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantumania thing. I know, there's no way I did a movie review. I'm sorry. I'm still on podcast brain, streamer brain. And it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm still trying to get used to, getting in and out of that mode. But yeah, I don't think I went over it on the podcast, but I liked it. I got nervous. No, that's what it was. The last podcast, I believe I was getting ready to go to it. That's what it was. I was getting ready to go to it. I think that's what it was. Anyway, I liked it. I got nervous because I seen Rotten Tomatoes. They gave it like a 48 or something. I was like, damn. And then they're like, and then there's like those things on Google like Ant-Man worst box office or something like that. So I was like, damn, this is gonna be horrible. But then I saw the audience score, and you got to go with the audience score sometimes. Sometimes, and it was like an 84, and I was like, that's really good. So I watched it. I liked it, but also I think I mentioned this. I am Paul Rudd biased. Anything with Paul Rudd, I like. I think to me, he's in a lot of my top 10 movies. I think I said that too. And he also has a lot of funny bloopers, like blooper reels or gag reels or whatever the hell they call it. I don't really know why they call it gag reels. But anyway, um, he has a lot of those that I like. I mostly all of them, but a lot of the funny ones, he's in them, and I'm just like, damn. So yeah, I like a lot of things that he's in. So yeah, of course I like the movie because he's in it, But if I had to take him out of it, and I was just thinking about the movie, it was just like the only thing I would say, I'm not gonna give out spoiler alerts, but there's a lot of things like you see all these polls like who's a better uh villain, Thanos or Kang, and I'm just like I'm just seeing him now, and it's just like you got to give it time. Like that it's hard to talk without spoilers, but it's like he could be a badass villain too, but it's time. But yeah, and it's also like people like they wanting this, something quick to pop off, like a Thanos. Remember, Thanos took like 10 years to come. He was always introduced. And this is kind of like Kang's being introduced, but like it's a little more. So it's just like, you got to give it time. Some of these people are just like, oh, it's not going to be the same. It's never the same. And you got to remember, somebody on TikTok said this, and I couldn't agree with him more. He was like, you think all the ones previous to Thanos, all those movies, he was like, "You think those were all fire?" He was like, this was garbage." And there's a lot of ones that people say are garbage that I actually like. There was some Thors I didn't like. Of course, I think I talked about Love and Thunder. I didn't really like it. And there was another Thor, like Thor 2, I didn't like. Ragnarok was my favorite. But the Captain America, the part one, I didn't like that. I thought it was boring. I actually remember, I think I was passing out during that one. Um, a lot of people didn't like Iron Man 2. I was like, it's all right. I mean, it wasn't great, but I didn't have a lot of people like actually hate Iron Man 2. They hated Iron Man 2. Well, what else was Ultron, the Age of Ultron? I actually liked Ultron, the villain. I like that villain. And if they bring him back, I wouldn't be mad at it. Like, I'm like, you guys didn't like him as the villain? I mean, like, I know like they did a lot of cheesy like video game poses, like in the beginning and the end, and the freeze frames and all that shit. I'm like, that's just the filming. I'm like, but did you like the character? The character is pretty dope to me. So a lot of people don't like Age of Ultron and all that stuff. So I'm just like, you got to give it some time. I'm like, not every fucking Marvel movie is gonna be a goddamn 10. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I kind of see where they're going with it, and this is where you got to be like a comic book head, or you got to watch the cartoons that about these characters. So if you see the end of Ant Man, and if you're a comic book head or you saw the cartoons, you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be pretty good, But the majority of people are not, so they're looking at this like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, I think it's gonna get good. I'm interested in actually the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because I heard some people are gonna die, and I have my like picks. I think it's gonna be Drax for sure, and I think the raccoon. I think the raccoon's gonna be gone. So, and then in the trailers, they kind of put it like Quill's dying, so he ain't gonna really die. But who knows? I don't know. But yeah, so Avatar was good. Uh, Ant Man, and I liked it. Like I said, a lot of people didn't like it. They didn't like the characters in the quantum realm. They were like, because they're like weird characters, and I'm just like, it's a comic book. Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, you know what I'm saying? I hate when people trying to like make things real. Like when they redid the Batman, they were like, "Oh, I wanted to be more realistic." But yeah, you got to also understand a lot of this shit ain't gonna be realistic. Even like this new one with Robert Pattinson, like they wanted realistic this, but like there's gonna be points depending on these villains. You know what I'm saying? Shit ain't gonna be realistic. So what the fuck? What are they gonna do? Mr. Freeze, and he's gonna freeze somebody, gonna be like awful, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, and then you're gonna defrost people. It's at certain points, it's gonna be like, all right, I can't do this character, realistic. So like a poison ivy, like plants killing you and shit. That's not gonna be realistic. So I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta leave it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Not everything has to be realistic. But what else I saw? I'm currently watching I'm currently watching I was watching no, let me talk about this first. I was watching You, but I already caught up the episodes. The rest of the episodes come out March 9th, and then I think the show ends. I think so. That's why they split it in parts. But anyway, I love that show. I think that's a great show. I would If this is like the final season, I would definitely rewatch all seasons. I like that show a lot. I think that's doing good. But right now, since I have no shows to watch, I'm watching Married at First Sight, and let me not say that like that, like because I have no shows to watch. I always watch Married at First Sight. Sorry, like this is sleepy brain. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's Sunday night. This is my bedtime normally. I got sleepy brain. Anyway, so I normally watch that, right? But I'm gonna say this right now to these experts. They got the experts. You got the Pastor Cal and the two other ladies. There's that old lady, and there's the lady that always, talks about the sex in the relationship. So these are the experts. I have to say this, for experts, they suck, right? And if you watch the show, you know, if you don't watch the show, let me tell you this. So if you don't watch the show, what they do is, I guess you're filling out questionnaires, and you're seeing, if they're taking the ones that match up and putting them together, so they say, right? But when they put these couples together, it's just like they miss crucial things where it's like you can't call yourself an expert because a lot of this shit ain't working out, right? So like with the current season I'm watching, like there'll be something like this, like without giving any spoilers to, like there'll be a girl that she'll be like, no, there'll be a guy that on his list of stuff, he's like, I'm a dog lover. I love dogs. I need somebody who loves dogs and all this stuff. They will match him with someone who fucking hates animals, like, or hates especially dogs and shit. And then they'll match him up, and they'll be like, yeah, opposites attract. I'm like, or they don't sometimes, that fucking saying that somebody made up a long time ago. Sometimes that shit doesn't hold up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people keep thinking that, but maybe they don't attract. And that's what's been happening on this show. Like, they'll be like, somebody be like, "Oh, I hate musicians." And the guy was like, "Oh, all I do is play music." And then they don't end up together because you know why? Because that real basic thing that they missed in their little fucking questionnaires, it just goes unnoticed. So right now, there's so much. There's this one couple that is just they're just doomed for failure right off the bat. Like the dude, he was so, oh, I'm religious, I'm God, I'm religious God, yay, God. And then all his actions say otherwise. This guy, you end up hating this guy. I am 3 episodes in, can't stand the motherfucker. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, I can't even look at him. And I'm just like, how was he a ladies' man? You know what I'm saying? And then it just blows your mind. I can't see any of my lady friends liking this dude, and if they do, we can't be friends anymore because this guy is such a prick, right? And so I'm just like, I don't understand it, but yeah, these experts, they suck. They suck. A lot of these are ending up terrible, and like you can't put like they'll put like this really outgoing person with like somebody who's like a really strong homebody, and then they're like, yeah, they'll bring the best out of each other. He'll teach her that sometimes you got to be home, and she'll teach him sometimes you got to go out, right? Maybe in a perfect scenario that happens. A lot of times it hasn't been happening. So I can't even give it a 50-50 with this fucking show. It's just like they are bombing at this. So it's just like, you know what? Maybe next season, actually pay attention. Put somebody who's outgoing with somebody who's outgoing, and then they'll just have a nice outgoing time. Somebody who's a homebody with a homebody. Stop trying to make the other one bring the other thing out of, nah. Sometimes that shit doesn't work. Sometimes it does, but a lot of times, especially on this show, it's not working. So experts, they need to get new experts. To me, it's just like, and then they're like all shocked. Like there's a point like the experts leave them alone for a while, right? They let them go through their marriage, their honeymoon, and then when they start getting back to like real life shit where they got to work and this, then the experts come in and they're like, "How's your marriage?" and all this shit. And it's just like, "Oh, it's terrible." I love dogs and she wants to murder my dog because she hates dogs. And then the expert has this face like, uh, like I'm confused. I'm shocked. It's like, what the fuck did you do? Like, and I really want to see the questionnaire. Like, I just want to see like, because if it's them dumb shits like, what's your favorite color? Green. Oh, and then like they attach that color like green means you're positively energetic and all that bullshit. And if they're doing that to match people up, then yeah, that shit doesn't work. That'll never work. You know, I thought like I personally thought they talked to these people, right? And then they're like, from hearing from this guy, sounds like he'll get along with this girl. I think that's a better way. But I really don't know what's on the questionnaires, but it's just like they've just been so fucking off. But yeah, like I'm into this season, so and I was into the last season too. It was crazy. Like they put like this minimalist with this hippie and they were like my favorite couple, and I think to this day they're still together. But yeah, they were a great couple, and like it's just crazy. Like because when they get back to you got to get back to real life and work and get back to your home. Um, This guy made his home out of like fucking I don't know, like street garbage or something. He made his own home, didn't have a bathroom in it. He had to use somebody else's bathroom. It was weird, but yeah. They ended up living in a home that had, utilities and shit, but it was just so weird. I'm like, she came in the house like, "This is your house?" I wish I remembered the names, but I don't remember the names. But yeah, this new season, I only think there's one couple that's gonna make it is Dominican guy. I think his name is Vincent, and the girl's name is Brianna. I think so. I think so. Don't quote me. But yeah, and if you watch the video, I'll post them. But I think they're gonna make it. All the other ones, they're awkward as shit. Like they got a girl who hasn't dated or been with anyone and for 7 years, and they put him with this awkward dude. I mean, he's awkward. He says a 70s, 80s geek, right? But he has an awkward personality, and she's a very outgoing person. So, like, when you see them together, you're just like, "Oh my god, I want this to end." It's like torture. It's like, "Oh my god," like, they're not, like, vibing. Like, right now, I'm at an episode where they finally kissed each other, and I feel like maybe, they're getting comfortable, but it's like, damn, if she hasn't been with someone for 7 years, and then this guy is just, like, wanting some love and affection, and she's looking at him like, "You're a fucking weirdo." He has, like he has all these weird shirts and all that stuff, so I love it, like, I'm into this season. The only thing, these episodes, they're an hour and 20 minutes long, just, like, it's a long hour, and I feel like when I'm watching these things, you feel like you're sitting on the couch for 3 hours. Like, I'll watch 1 episode, because like I said, they're an hour and 20 minutes, and I feel like I'm on that couch for 3 hours, and I'm like, after 1 episode, I'm like, "That's enough. I can't watch any more today." Like, I gotta move around, I gotta get up, I gotta, I feel like I'm getting up constantly during the thing, like, I feel like I'm always getting up for water or standing up because I just can't, I just can't sit there for that long. But, yeah, so that's that. Did I have anything else I had to review? I seen the Avatar, I seen the Ant-Man. I think I had another TV show, but I do not remember it right now. But there is one thing I want to talk about while it's fresh in my head because I just seen it this morning. So if you're on TikTok like me, I'm always on fucking TikTok. If you're on TikTok, there's this comedian who's been getting big off TikTok. He's funny. To me, he's funny. He does a lot of crowd work. If you don't know what crowd work is like the comedian just, he makes his comedy off, the crowd. He asks them questions and then he'll start, making jokes off their life or whatever the fuck they do, whatever. So he does crowd work. His name is Matt Rife. And yeah, I'll post a picture of him while I'm talking about him. He actually came to Atlanta, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago? He was in Atlanta, yeah, either a week ago or 2 weeks ago. He was in Atlanta for like a week. I wanted to see him, but I didn't get a chance to. But real funny dude. He was on another podcast. This podcast that I mentioned several times on here. It's called Stiff Socks Podcast. So he was on that podcast and he was talking to Trevor and Michael, and he was telling them they asked him, and while like I'm talking about this is because right now, like, all right, this guy, like, I listened to several podcasts. This guy has been mentioned from the ladies so many times. The ladies love him. Like, they drool over this guy. I've seen like complete strangers that come up on my TikTok talk about him, like in the freakiest ways too. So they really love this guy, right? They think he's gorgeous, blah blah blah, and funny. So right now he's having like a backlash, and now I'm starting to see videos come in where ladies are hating him, and the reason why they're hating him is because on the Stiff Socks podcast, he said they asked him, "Hey, what's your type of girl?" And he said his type, right? He said like blonde hair, big boobs. He's a boob dude, but blonde hair, big boobs, whatever. So, okay, cool. If somebody asks you what's your type and you tell them your type, that's it, right? So now girls who are, mad at him right now are girls that don't have either one of those two, right? So they're saying, oh, he's male chauvinist, whatever this, and they're just like bashing him now. And it was just like they were drooling all over him, and now he's like public enemy number uno on TikTok, and it's just all because they asked him what his type was. But if like, I'm coming to his defense because if, like, you ask somebody what their type is and they tell you what their type, you can't hate on that. You can't be mad at him. it's just crazy. If he asked you what your type was and it wasn't him, you expect him to be like, "Oh, you bitch." So right now, like, "Oh, he's disgusting." Like they're calling him disgusting and all this shit, and I'm just like, "Why?" They asked him what his type, he told you what his type was. Doesn't mean just because you have a type, and you ladies should know this too. You have a type, guess what? I guarantee you, I was n any of the women I've been with, I was not one of their types. I'm not anyone's type, right? Nobody's like, "Yeah, I want a fucking 5'8" bald Spanish guy." Nobody wants that little thick thickie, you know? So it's like you can't be mad at that. You know, a lot of couples right now, I'm pretty sure one another aren't each other types, and they just won't say that. But I know my woman's type, and I wasn't it. But that's the beauty of it. You girls, you ladies who are hating on him now, you should have been like, all right, that's your type. I'm gonna change your mind. You're gonna love me, my redhead ass, or whatever the fuck, you brunette, whatever. You know, you could have changed his mind. You could be like, you could have got with him and be like, and then he'll go on another podcast. He was like, you know what? I like blondes. Now I like this and I like this. You know what I'm saying? But no, they just went negative with him. And now, like, everything I'm getting, they're just like, oh, he's so disgusting, showing his true colors. I'm just like, oh, stop. It's like you can't get famous. Like this kid, I actually know this kid's story because there's a comedian who I listened to two of his podcasts, and I've been following him because I think he's hilarious. His name is Eric Griffin, right? So Eric Griffin, this guy used to open for Eric Griffin. Eric Griffin used to take him on the road, and then he got big, and then he went his own way. But they're still cool. So it's just like I've been following this guy, so I know both of them, and I'm just like, why are you gonna shit on this guy? He's just making it big, in comedy, in the comedy scene. If you guys don't know, and I'm not gonna act like I really fucking know. I'm just like I follow all these comedians and they talk about it. It's like hard coming up. You're a doorman and all that shit. So it's just crazy. It's like he's finally coming up. He's being noticed on TikTok. He's getting a lot of likes. And now he was on one podcast. He's told somebody his exact type. And now everybody wants to, well, it's mostly ladies. No guys like, yeah, you asshole. Let's cancel him. It's mostly ladies. Like they want him like canceled. It sounds like it because they're just calling him a pig, disgusting. Oh, he just sees a woman as parts. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, they asked him what his type. He told you the type, and that's it. Like, if somebody asks you to type and you're not the type, get over it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't bitter. I told you I ain't nobody's type. You ain't see me fucking walking around like, God damn it, nobody likes my fucking bald head. I don't give a shit. But I think it's even better. Like if I'm not anybody's type and then I make you like me, hey, I win. You know what I'm saying? You had this type of this fucking dream guy with the fucking abs and the V and all that other shit. And you got a Spanish guy with man boobs. Shit, I won. That means, I got game. I got swag and I win. So, yeah, man. I think you guys, the ladies got to lay off him on that one. Like, I'm with him. Like, Jesus Christ, he just said his type. And it's just like, it makes you not want to be famous and makes you not want to answer fucking questions. Like, I say shit on here all the time and I'm not famous. But, like, if I were ever to get to a fame level, I'm pretty sure there's something somebody could pick apart here. But it's just like, you ask for information, you get information. If you don't like it, then you gotta fucking move on. Like, why ask the question? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like that in real life. I'm just like, at a point in my life, I became like brutally honest. So if you ask me a question, I would answer brutally honest. If it was brutal, it was brutal. But I have this thing about me where people don't know if I'm being serious or not. So I can tell you the fucking honest truth, and you can't tell if I'm just like telling a joke or I'm being serious. And a lot of the times I'm being serious. Like I'm telling her, like if you like if a girl came in with a dress and it was fucking hideous, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, you should wear that dress never around in public. And sometimes they'll have a response like, "Oh, you stupid." Like I'm joking, and I'm just like, I'm actually serious. I think you should never wear that dress in public. I'm not trying to be an asshole. If you want the truth, you know what I'm saying? Come to me, I'll tell you. And that's it. But if you want to be lied to and you want, just to hear like, oh, it just looks beautiful, even though it looks like shit, then, you probably should go to someone else because, I'm at that point where I don't do that shit no more. You know, I feel like we're past that point. I'm at the age where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna tell you how it is, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know, it's gonna be called the asshole episode. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, he's an asshole, but you guys know me, I'm not. But yeah, lay off Matt Rife. Watch these shows, and that is it. Did I hit my 30 mark? I did. Cool. It didn't feel like 30. Didn't it? Did. I felt like I had like 15 more minutes to go, but that's awesome. We hit the mark. If you didn't notice, I got a new mic. It looks tiny as hell, but this fucking tiny mic is supposed to be better. It's supposed to be I don't know. Shit. It's expensive, so it should be better, right? But I'm also messing around with settings because like I said, I always wanted to focus on the video portion of the podcast, but since everybody's just listening to me, now I'm really into the audio, so now I go into all the platforms and I have to listen to myself on all the platforms, make sure, you know, there's not a lot of popping noises or a lot of breath, and work on that. So, I'll make it better for just the audio listeners. But yeah, I'm hoping like I have all these plugins. I don't know if you guys know what that is. That's geek shit. But yeah, I'm trying it out. So I'm gonna try it with all these plugins and I'm gonna try it without the plugins and I'm gonna see what works. I might get rid of this filter. I don't think I need it anymore with this microphone because it's a different type of microphone. But yeah, I'm just getting better all around. And I'll tell you more about that on the next episode because I want to talk about streaming and overnight oats. It sounds weird, but we're going to talk about it. But anyways, guys, as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I will see you on the next episode. Later.
Oh, don't be angry.
I'm not angry. I think it's funny.